Hello, everyone. Welcome to your weekly astrology and energy forecast for the week of December 22nd through December 28th. Here we are, winding down not only the month, but the year. Cannot believe how quickly this year went by. Yes, that sounds very cliche, but it's the truth. It just feels like it's sped by us. Please be sure to go to the Substack app, which is right now where all of my previous content is housed. You will find, be sure to go back and check the first half of December forecast, the second half of December forecast, which was just posted, along with the Sagittarius new moon that we just had on the 19th, the solstice energies. There's guided meditations and rituals for you to use at your leisure. You do not have to use these on the exact dates that these events occur. They're meant to be used when you feel pulled and or guided toward them and to using them. I'm recording this on Saturday, the 20th. So the solstice is actually tomorrow, the 21st. So be sure to check out that post. I sent it out this morning. It's got information on the solstice, the winter solstice, and the summer solstice, also with rituals and guided meditations. I really hope that it supports you. Energetically, it can be exhausting to rehash the same concept, the same theory, the same sentiments continuously. And I feel like I do that a lot because I almost can't help it. So just to make sure that you don't miss anything, check out my YouTube as well. I've got a video on the energies of 3i Atlas from my perspective, from my perception. I've also got, like I said, the forecast for December with information for the signs. So you're definitely going to want to check that out. The guidance lands when and where and how it needs to. Let's get right into it. The final full week of the year, December 22nd through December 28th. Our tagline for this week ahead, plan with care, breathe the air. Basically, that's pretty self-explanatory. I have been saying for months now not to overcrowd your calendar, your schedule at this point of the year, because obviously it's a holiday season and that's busy enough in and of itself. But besides that, it's just a busy time energetically, and there's a lot to it. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of emotions. There's a lot of purging, mind, body, spirit that's taking place. There's a lot that needs to get done. So moving into this week, plan with care. In other words, do not overburden yourself. Please continue that trend and breathe the air. Get outside, ground, do what you can to keep yourself centered, to keep yourself in your center and bring you back to center when it feels overwhelming and or chaotic, which it is inevitably bound to be and do. So plan with care, breathe the air. We start the week off fresh into Capricorn season. We have quite a bit of planets in Capricorn and Aquarius right now. This is Saturn energy because the planet Saturn rules over Capricorn and Aquarius. What does that mean? Saturn is all about structure, discipline, order, resilience. Saturn energy reminds us that if we want the things, we need to be willing to put in the work or what is necessary to get those things, to have those rewards, so to speak. It's a get down to business type of energy. So we can certainly feel more motivated, but we can also feel more somber, a little bit more down-toned or even down in the dumps in some cases. So just know, and obviously it is the holiday season, which is not a jolly time for everyone. Everybody is going through their own battles. Everybody has their own pot of energy, right? With that said, the way that the current skies, the astrology is set up, it can be very productive and it can definitely lend to discipline, structure, and order. But the other side of that is it can lend to isolation, even in some cases, increased feelings of depression and or loneliness. So please reach out where and when you need to. This week does have the potential to be funk energy, like in the funk, being in the funk, or being in a funk rather. So go easy on yourself and go easy on others. Compassion, grace, and empathy go a very long way all of the time, but especially this upcoming week, this time of year. We have a steady tempo increase here energetically. We have a steady momentum that's building because the sun currently in Capricorn, Mars has just entered Capricorn. It's sign of exaltation. Mars loves to be in the sign of Capricorn. Long story short, as Mars and the sun get closer and closer together this week, we can feel the energy building up. Mars and the sun are pure energy, so this can be very positive for getting things accomplished. It can also inflame us emotionally and physically, so we just have to watch that. Irritants are all around. It's what we choose to allow to infiltrate our energy. How we choose to respond versus react. In fact, I would say reflect, do not react. Then after you reflect, if you feel comfortable and confident, then respond. So be a reflector, then a responder, not a reactor. Check yourself where necessary. So now let's get into the day by day. Monday the 22nd, the moon starts off in the sign of Capricorn. It makes a harmonizing aspect to the planet Uranus in the early AM. So you may find that Sunday into Monday, especially because we are under these powerful solstice energies, the new moon. We've got the moon trining Uranus. This can really enhance and increase the dream space, intuition, and can bring in a lot of unexpected aha moments. The moon will then move into Aquarius early in the morning. The moon will harmonize with Mercury, the planet of communication. So emotionally and mentally, we start the week off in more alignment of those two, of the way we're thinking and the way that we're feeling. And the moon will align with Pluto. So with that said, there could still be some intense feelings that are present, but they're in alignment, what you're thinking, what you're feeling. I actually like Monday. I think Monday has the potential to be productive as long as we know what we're working with, as long as we plan with care and breathe the air. Tuesday the 22nd, the moon will harmonize with Mercury and also with Venus. I like Tuesday. Rewinding for a moment, this week is really not that big astrologically speaking, but it is big energetically speaking. There is a lot to it, so just bear with me. I like Tuesday, I like Monday, I like Tuesday. I like Tuesday a little bit better than Monday. I feel like Tuesday's a little bit softer, a little bit sweeter. And then on Wednesday, we get to a little bit of a crunchy corner. Wednesday is also Christmas Eve for those that celebrate. Venus, the planet of connection, the planet of relationships, the planet of our finances as well. Venus is about what we value. Venus is currently in the sign of Capricorn, not her favorite place. She can be a little bit too serious here, which can be very good and practical and pragmatic when necessary, especially when it comes to matters of money, right? Matters of our wallet. We want to be practical. But Venus is coming into a harsh aspect with the planet Neptune. Neptune is all about, illusion, fantasy. It's not necessarily about facts. Neptune can be destabilizing if we allow it to be. Neptune can be fuzzy. Neptune's also very intuitive and very receptive, so it does have a positive side here. And so when Venus and Neptune come up against each other in a harsh aspect, it can be slightly destabilizing. We can feel physically drained. We can feel energetically drained, especially. We can feel mentally drained. Others can really drain our energy. And we can do the same, either involuntarily or voluntarily. So it's really important to protect your peace and just be extra conscious of where you are putting your energy. And just know that it is a little bit of a emotional day. It's a little bit of a nebulous kind of a day. Things may not be clear. It could be a little bit fuzzy. You can feel even buzzed and not even drink anything, not even drink any alcohol, but you can just feel like a buzz in your energy. I'll take it back to the tagline, plan with care, breathe the air. Right after Venus squares off with Neptune, Venus will then enter Capricorn. Now, I know that I said that Venus was in Capricorn squaring Neptune. She is, but she's going to square Neptune first before she moves into Capricorn. So it's very active and it's still pulling in that same energy. If that goes over your head, don't worry about it. Just lean into the emotion and the energy of what I said. As Venus enters Capricorn, Venus is now coming into alignment with the Sun and Mars also in Capricorn. So this is what we call a stellium or a triple conjunction. So this is basically a pileup of that Capricorn Saturn energy. It's a very strong reminder to prioritize ourselves and to recognize that sometimes solitude truly is necessary, and that's okay. If you find yourself this week wanting to decline an invitation or saying no to protect your peace or saying no because of disrespect or anything like that, you owe that to yourself. You do not have to go somewhere where you do not feel welcome or you do not feel comfortable. Because if that's the case on Wednesday, it's going to feel really uncomfortable and very obvious where you're voluntarily putting yourself in a situation that is not good for you. So plan with care, breathe the air. Then the moon will go void at 4:42 p.m. Eastern Time and will enter Pisces at 8:09 p.m. So to further amplify the feeling of a little bit of fogginess, cloudiness, potential destabilization, or even discord and or disharmony in some situations and or relationships, the moon will then be void for about 4 hours here. And so when the moon is void, Think about it. The moon rules over the energy, right? The collective energy and emotion. It's the tone. And when it's void, moving from Aquarius into Pisces, Pisces is quite possibly the most sensitive of the signs here, and the moon's moving into Pisces. But while it's out of bounds, or void, I should say, what's happening is it's extra emotional, and it can feel extra confusing on an already confusing day, potentially. So just know that that's the energy. It's good for intuition. It's great for meditation. It's great for being still. It's great for going inward. It's great for soul solitude. And that's why I reiterated that sometimes solitude is the way to go. It's necessary. Positively speaking, the moon and the sun are in harmony, so we like that. Once the moon gets into Pisces, it's harmonizing with the sun in Capricorn, so things could sort of smooth out as we move into the later part of Saturday and going into Sunday. I'm sorry, Wednesday going into Thursday, Wednesday the 24th going into Thursday the 25th. Thursday, the 25th, the moon will harmonize with Mars. The moon will align with the north node. It will oppose the south node. All of that to say, let it go, let it flow. As long as we're flowing with the energy and not against it, Thursday has the potential to be just a nice overall, I guess, I don't want to say chill, but a nice day. It's also Christmas Day. Then on Friday, the 26th, we've got the moon trining Jupiter, which is excellent for new ideas. It's great for expansion, intuitively and literally. Things can really expand here. There's this feeling of hope and optimism about the future. The moon in Pisces will then align with both Saturn and Neptune. I like Friday for meditation. I like Friday for grounding. I really like Friday for anything that has to do with the element of water. Listening to water meditations, listening to the sounds of water. It's very, very healing and cleansing, but it will be especially beneficial and impactful on Friday the 26th. We'll also have Venus squaring off with Pluto, so we could be feeling some pretty powerful, or profound, I should say, pretty profound emotions as we get towards the end of the week and moving into the weekend. On Saturday the 27th, I have Saturday flagged as agitated, but also motivated. So I always issue I don't want to say warning, but just be careful out there. It is a busy time of year. People are much more jazzed up, for better or worse. I do feel very strong energies of, I'm sorry to say, but of shootings, out there. I don't know where, but that's why it's important to be very mindful, to trust your intuition. If you want to lay low, lay low. So Saturday, if you use it personally, it's great for motivation. It's great for cleaning. It's great for getting things together. It's great for balancing your checkbook, checking out the credit card statements, anything having to do with getting more serious about, your financial health, your physical health. I really like Saturday's energy overall for that. But it's going to be an agitated day out in the collective. I do feel that the news this whole week, but especially as we move towards the weekend, is going to be, just kind of negative. I think there's just going to be a lot of stories out there that they're not really feel good, okay? And we want to feel good. The moon will enter Aries early Saturday morning. The moon will harmonize with Pluto. The moon will also brush up against that Sun, Venus, Mars in Capricorn by a square, which is a little bit harsh. So I already feel like the weekend has the potential, especially Saturday, to be a little bit harsh energetically. And that will just intensify that. So be mindful. Plan with care, breathe the air. Sorry to keep repeating the tagline, but I feel like it's very important this week. And then we close out the week. On Sunday, we've got the moon squaring off with Jupiter, aligning with Chiron and Eris, and harmonizing with Mercury. Sunday's kind of, I feel, neutral. It may have a lot of remnants and carryover from Saturday, but it seems a little bit softer as you move throughout the day and close out the chapter of this past week. But all of that to say, be present wherever you are and whatever you're doing. Paying attention to what you're feeling, honoring your needs. You don't always have to be on. You don't always have to say yes. You do not always have to go where you do not want to. I feel like we all need to give ourselves more grace, especially at this time of year, and be authentic to ourselves. That doesn't mean being disrespectful. It means honoring the needs, our needs, also just as much as we honor others. I was going to pull a tarot card, but I'll be honest with you. An animal card was actually stuck to my water bottle here. I don't know how or why. Actually, I do know how or why. My nieces every now and again end up in my office and they play around with the cards. But I feel like this is necessary. So I'm going to use this card because to me, this is the message for this week. Butterfly. Rebirth. You can reinvent yourself Open to the rewards of change. You have brilliance to share with the world. Love every part of your journey. Very, very important. And I feel like also as we're closing out this week, we're also closing out the month. Yes, next week's report forecast will include the last few days of December, but it's important to reflect on this from now. How much you've grown, even and especially through the challenges, the traumas, the heartaches. You're here. You're reinventing yourself. The butterfly was once the caterpillar. It's not an easy process. It's not always a pretty process. So take the time to acknowledge how far you've come and knowing that you can move into 2026, making the changes that you want for yourself. It's never too late. You're never too old. I always laugh when someone says to me, I'm too old, I'm 75, I'm too old, I'm 85, whatever it is. Age is just a number. Our age is our energy. I know 30-year-olds that energetically feel 80. I know 80-year-olds that energetically feel 30. It's in your energy. And it's never too late to change. It's never too late to make changes. And the butterfly reminds us of that. Constant rebirth on our journey here. Constant. I hope that this was helpful. For those that celebrate, have a very happy holiday. Merry Christmas. Take really good care. Sending you all the love. And I will be back soon.